The alarm screamed through the metal halls of the UES Defiance. Captain Jake Morrison ran down the narrow corridor toward the bridge. His boots hit the floor hard with each step. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Report!" Jake shouted as he burst onto the bridge. The crew turned to look at him with wide eyes. Fear filled their faces. "Sir, we're getting a transmission," said Commander Lisa Park. She sat at the communications desk with her hands shaking. "It's from the Zephyrian Collective." Jake felt his blood turn cold. No one had heard from the aliens in over 50 years. The last time they spoke, it was just a simple border check. Nothing important. Nothing that mattered. "Put it on screen," Jake ordered. The main display flickered to life. A tall, blue-skinned alien appeared. Its 4 arms moved in slow, careful gestures. When it spoke, the words came through the universal translator in a voice like grinding metal. "Humans of Earth," the alien said. "I am High Commander Zach Toole of the Zephyrian Collective. After 3,000 years of peace, we must speak." Lisa looked at Jake with terror in her eyes. She had never seen an alien before. Most humans hadn't. The peace treaty kept both sides apart. "The treaty that has kept our species separate is now ended," Zach Toole continued. "Your people have grown too far. You have built too much. You have learned too much. This cannot continue." Jake grabbed the arm of his chair. His knuckles turned white. "We gave you the gift of space travel long ago," the alien said. "We showed mercy when we could have destroyed you, but you have used our gift to spread like a disease across the stars." The image changed. It showed human colonies on distant worlds, mining stations around gas giants, trade ships moving between star systems. All of it looked peaceful, normal. "You will remove all human presence beyond your home system," Zach Toole declared. "You will destroy your space fleet. You will accept our guidance over your species. You have 72 hours to agree." The transmission ended. The bridge fell silent except for the hum of machines. "Get me Admiral Hudson," Jake said quietly. "Now." Within minutes, Admiral Carl Hudson's face appeared on the screen. The old man looked tired, but his eyes were sharp and hard. "I saw it too, Jake," Hudson said. "Every ship in the fleet got the same message. I'm calling an emergency meeting on Luna Station. Get here fast." Jake nodded. "What do we tell the crew?" "Nothing yet," Hudson replied. "But start running battle checks on all systems. Make it look like routine maintenance." The connection ended. Jake turned to his crew. They all stared at him, waiting for orders. "Lisa, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we're coming home for repairs," Jake said. "Don't mention the transmission." "Yes, sir," Lisa replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The trip to Luna Station took 6 hours. During that time, Jake couldn't eat or sleep. He kept thinking about the aliens' words. They called space travel a gift from them. But humans had built their own ships. Humans had found their own way to the stars. Or had they? Luna Station buzzed with activity when the Defiance arrived. Ships from all over human space were gathering. Jake had never seen so many vessels in one place. In the main conference room, Admiral Hudson stood before a group of captains and commanders. His face was grim. "The situation is worse than we thought," Hudson began. "Dr. Helen Cross has been studying the alien message. Helen, tell them what you found." A woman with gray hair and thick glasses stepped forward. She looked nervous but determined. "I've been researching the Zephyrian Collective for 30 years, Dr. Cross said. "What I discovered will shock you. They've been controlling us." She pressed a button and images filled the wall screen. "Every time we tried to expand beyond certain areas, our ships had navigation problems," she explained. "Equipment failures, computer glitches. We thought it was just bad luck or poor design." The images showed dozens of human ships lost over the centuries, all in the same regions of space. "It wasn't bad luck," Dr. Cross continued. "The aliens have been using electromagnetic fields to disrupt our technology. They've been keeping us in a cage. Angry voices filled the room. Captains shouted questions and demands. Hudson raised his hand for silence. There's more. Show them the rest, Helen. 3,000 years ago, humans fought a war with these aliens, Dr. Cross said. According to their records, we lost. According to our records, it was a draw, but I found something else. New images appeared. Ancient battle reports, ship designs, weapons specifications. Our ancestors didn't just fight the aliens, Dr. Cross revealed. They were winning. The room erupted in chaos. Jake felt his world spinning. Everything he had learned about human history was wrong. The aliens retreated, Dr. Cross shouted over the noise. They offered the peace treaty because they couldn't defeat us, but they made us forget. They changed our records. They made us believe we were the weaker species. Hudson stepped forward again. President Maya Turner has called an emergency session of the World Council, but I want you all to know something. We're not the same species that fought them 3,000 years ago. We're stronger now, smarter, more advanced. He looked around the room at each face. And if they want a war, Hudson said, his voice like steel, they're going to get one they'll never forget. Outside the station, space flickered and warped. Massive alien ships began to appear around Titan. The war had already begun. The first alien attack came without warning. Titan's mining stations exploded in bright flashes of light. Thousands of workers died in seconds. The message was clear: surrender or face total destruction. Admiral Hudson stood in the command center on Luna Station, watching the feeds from Titan. His face showed no emotion, but his hands gripped the rail in front of him. "Sir, we're getting emergency signals from all over the system," reported Lieutenant Kevin Ross. "The aliens have 12 battle groups positioned around our major facilities." "Activate Protocol Omega," Hudson said quietly. Every person in the command center froze. Protocol Omega was a legend, a story told in whispers among military personnel. Most people thought it was just a myth. "Sir, are you sure?" asked Captain Sandra Wells. "Protocol Omega hasn't been tested." "It's been tested for 300 years, Hudson replied. "We just never told anyone." Hudson walked to a secure terminal and entered a series of codes. Across human space, hidden systems came to life, things that had been waiting in the shadows for centuries. On Titan, Colonel Sam Blake led the evacuation of survivors from the destroyed mining stations. His ships moved between the wreckage, pulling people from escape pods and damaged facilities. But something else moved with them. Small, dark objects detached from Blake's ships. They looked like pieces of debris floating in space. The aliens paid them no attention. That was their first mistake. "Drones are in position," Blake reported over the comm. "Beginning intelligence gathering." The objects weren't debris. They were advanced AI drones designed to look like space junk. For decades, they had been hidden in mining equipment throughout the system. Now they swarmed toward the alien ships like angry insects. The drones didn't attack. Instead, they attached themselves to the alien hulls and began scanning. Every piece of technology, every weapon system, every communication frequency was recorded and transmitted back to human command. On Mars, General Rita Stone walked through a massive underground facility that didn't exist on any official map. The cavern stretched for miles in every direction. Thousands of workers operated machines that had been building in secret for generations. "How long until the first ships are ready?" Stone asked her chief engineer. 12 hours for the first squadron," replied Chief Miller. 24 hours for the full battle group." Stone nodded. The Martian shipyards had been disguised as mining operations for over 2 centuries. Every year they dug deeper and built more. The aliens thought humans had only a few dozen military ships. They were about to learn the truth. Similar facilities activated across human space. On Europa, weapon factories emerged from beneath the ice. On Ceres, ammunition depots opened their hidden doors. Asteroid mining stations revealed themselves to be disguised military bases. Dr. Nathan Wells stood in a secure laboratory deep beneath Luna's surface. Around him, men and women in black uniforms waited for their orders. They were taller than normal humans, stronger, faster. Their eyes held no fear. "The enemy thinks we're the same species they fought 3,000 years ago," Wells told them. "They're wrong. You are the next step in human evolution." These were the Reapers, genetically enhanced soldiers created in secret over decades of careful breeding and modification. Their reflexes were 3 times faster than normal humans. Their strength was doubled. Most importantly, their minds had been conditioned to feel no fear in battle. "Remember your training," Wells continued. "The aliens fight with honor. We fight to win." The Reapers nodded in unison. They had trained their entire lives for this moment. Captain Amy Foster commanded the UES Vengeance, one of humanity's newest warships. But unlike the older vessels, the Vengeance had technology that shouldn't exist. Jump drives that could move the ship instantly across vast distances, weapons that could punch through any known defense. "Jump coordinates locked in," reported her navigator. "We'll appear directly behind their command ship." "Do it!" Foster ordered. Space twisted around the Vengeance. In the blink of an eye, the ship appeared behind the alien fleet near Jupiter. Foster's weapons opened fire before the aliens even knew she was there. The alien command ship exploded in a ball of fire. Smaller vessels tried to turn and fight, but the Vengeance was already gone, jumping to attack another target. Across the system, more human ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts. The aliens had expected to face primitive vessels with slow engines and weak weapons. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that could strike anywhere without warning. On the alien flagship, High Commander Zach Toole stared at the tactical displays in confusion. His sensors showed human ships in dozens of locations at once. "That should be impossible." "How many vessels do they have?" he demanded. "Unknown, sir," replied his aide. "Our estimates may have been incorrect." Zach Toole's 4 arms moved in angry gestures. The intelligence reports had been clear. Humans had a small fleet of outdated ships. They should have been crushed in the first hour of battle. Instead, his forces were being picked apart by an enemy that fought like no species he had ever encountered. Human ships didn't engage in honorable combat. They struck from ambush and fled before retaliation. They used dirty tricks and impossible maneuvers. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the human fleet," reported the communications officer. "Put it on screen," Zach Toole ordered. Admiral Hudson's face appeared on the display. Behind him, the command center buzzed with activity. "High Commander," Hudson said with a cold smile, "I thought you should know something. That peace treaty you mentioned? We've been preparing to break it for 3,000 years. Zach Toole felt fear for the first time in his long life. "Impossible. We monitored your development. We limited your expansion." "You monitored what we wanted you to see," Hudson replied. "Every mining station was a military base. Every trade ship carried weapons. Every colony was a fortress. We've been building the largest military force in galactic history right under your nose." The transmission showed images from across human space. Massive fleets emerging from hidden bases, weapon factories that spanned entire continents, armies of enhanced soldiers preparing for deployment. "You wanted a war," Hudson continued. "Congratulations. You just started one with a species that's been planning your defeat for millennia." The transmission ended. Zach Toole stared at the blank screen as alarms began to sound throughout his ship. "Sir, enemy vessels are jumping in all around us," his tactical officer reported. Zach Toole looked at the display. Dozens of human ships had appeared in perfect formation around his fleet. They had been surrounded without even knowing it. "All ships retreat to safe distance," he ordered. But there was no safe distance. Wherever his ships went, human vessels appeared to hunt them. The prey had become the predator, and the hunt had only just begun. 6 months into the war, The galaxy had learned to fear humanity. Commander Luke Davis stood on the bridge of his captured alien vessel, watching his crew work the strange controls. The ship had been the pride of the Zephyrian fleet. Now it served human interests. "Translation matrix is online," reported Lieutenant Sarah Kim. "We can read their entire database." Davis nodded. The capture of the alien command ship had been a masterpiece of planning. Human forces had disabled the vessel without destroying it, then boarded while the crew was still unconscious from the attack. What they found changed everything. "Sir, you need to see this," Kim said, her voice shaking. "Their military structure, their home worlds, their fleet positions, it's all here." Davis looked at the displays showing alien territory. Hundreds of star systems. Billions of beings. Massive fleets that dwarfed what humanity had encountered so far. They've been holding back, he realized. This isn't their main force. In a secret laboratory on Earth, Dr. Susan Reed worked with alien technology torn from captured ships. Her team had spent months learning how the enemy's weapons and defenses worked. Now they had built something new. "The quantum disruptor is ready for testing," Reed announced to her team. "If this works, we can phase our missiles through their shields." The test missile fired at a captured alien defense grid. The weapon passed through the energy shields like they didn't exist, then exploded inside the protected area. "Perfect," Reed said with a grim smile. "Start production immediately." Within weeks, human fleets carried the new weapons. Alien commanders watched in horror as their strongest defenses became useless. Human missiles appeared inside their ships, destroying them from within. Lieutenant Kelly Wright led her assault team through the corridors of an alien dreadnought. The massive ship was 10 times larger than any human vessel, but size meant nothing when the enemy was already inside. "Contact front!" shouted Corporal Danny Miller as alien soldiers appeared around a corner. The firefight was brief and brutal. Human weapons cut through alien armor like paper, but what shocked the aliens more than the violence was how humans fought. The aliens fought with honor. They stood in formation and exchanged fire according to ancient codes of warfare. Humans crawled through air vents, used smoke and explosives, and attacked from unexpected angles. "They fight like savages," gasped a dying alien commander. "No," Wright replied, reloading her weapon. "We fight to win." The psychological impact spread through alien ranks. These creatures weren't just different from humans. They were better at war than anyone the aliens had ever faced. Admiral Hudson implemented his master strategy from Luna Command. For every human facility the aliens destroyed, 3 more appeared. The enemy couldn't understand how humanity could lose bases and somehow grow stronger. "Show them the Hydra files," Hudson ordered his staff. The displays revealed the truth. Every major human colony had been built with hidden backup facilities. When one shipyard was destroyed, 2 more activated in nearby star systems. When a weapon factory was bombed, 5 more began operation on worlds the aliens didn't even know existed. Humanity had been preparing for this war longer than some alien species had existed. Captain Ryan Mills commanded the defense of Centauri Prime when the alien siege fleet arrived. The enemy had brought enough firepower to crack a planet, but Mills had other plans. "Deploy the asteroid net," he ordered. His engineers had spent months placing small engines on every large rock in the system's asteroid belt. Now those rocks began to move, accelerating toward the alien fleet at incredible speeds. The aliens' sophisticated energy shields were designed to stop advanced weapons. They were useless against simple rocks moving at a significant fraction of light speed. "Sir, the enemy fleet is breaking up," reported his tactical officer. "Direct hits on 12 capital ships." Mills watched alien vessels explode as massive asteroids smashed through their hulls. The aliens had brought the most advanced weapons in the galaxy to fight rocks thrown by clever humans. Dr. Alex Turner worked in the depths of a research station hidden inside a brown dwarf star. The energy output masked all human activities from alien sensors. Here, he developed humanity's most secret project. Ghost Protocol is online, Turner announced to his team. Our ships can now mimic background cosmic radiation perfectly. The technology made human vessels completely invisible to alien sensors. Fleets could appear anywhere without warning, strike hard, and vanish before the enemy could respond. Human ships began appearing inside alien formations, opening fire at point-blank range before disappearing again. The aliens started firing at empty space, afraid that humans might be hiding anywhere. The war's turning point came during humanity's boldest operation yet. A massive human fleet appeared over Zephyr Prime, the alien capital world. The aliens scrambled every defense they had, expecting a devastating attack. Instead, a single human transport landed in the planet's main city. Soldiers emerged carrying a simple metal monument. They placed it in the center of the Capitol Plaza, then returned to their ship and left. The monument's message was carved in the alien language. We tried peace. You chose war. Now you will learn what humans do best. High Commander Zach Toole stared at the monument from his command center. Human forces had penetrated the most heavily defended system in alien space just to deliver a message. They could have destroyed the entire planet, but they chose to show mercy. That mercy was more terrifying than any weapon. "Sir, we're receiving reports from across the front," his aide reported. "Human forces are advancing in all sectors. Our fleets are in retreat." Zaktul closed his eyes. In 6 months, the humans had gone from a species marked for extinction to the dominant military force in the region. Everything the collective thought they knew about warfare had proven wrong. Humans didn't fight with honor. They fought with intelligence, creativity, and absolute determination. They turned every weakness into a strength and every defeat into a lesson. "Send a message to the High Council," Zaktul ordered. "Tell them we need reinforcements. All available reinforcements." "Sir, what should I tell them about human capabilities?" Zaktul looked at the monument again through his window. A simple piece of metal that represented the complete failure of alien intelligence. "Tell them," he said quietly, "that we have awakened something that should have been left sleeping." Across human space, factories worked around the clock. New ships rolled off assembly lines every hour. Enhanced soldiers completed their training and joined the growing armies. Scientists developed weapons that pushed the boundaries of known physics. The war was far from over, but humanity had sent a clear message to the galaxy. They were no longer the caged species the aliens remembered. They were something new, something dangerous, and something that would not be stopped. 2 years into the war, cracks appeared in the alien alliance. Commander Paul Green sat across from Ambassador Veltar of the Carathian Republic in a secret meeting chamber aboard a neutral space station. "Your people don't have to die for Zephyrian pride," Green told the insect-like alien. "Humanity offers partnership, not domination." Veltar's compound eyes studied the human carefully. The Carathians had joined the collective centuries ago, but they had never been equal partners. They were treated as junior members, useful for their medical technology, but excluded from major decisions. "What do you offer that the collective does not?" Veltar asked through his translator. Green activated a holographic display showing human and alien children playing together in one of the captured stations. "Equality, respect, a future where your people grow instead of just survive." The images showed something the Carathian had never seen before. Humans working alongside aliens as equals, sharing knowledge freely, building together instead of competing. "The collective promises order," Veltar said slowly. "You promise chaos." "We promise freedom," Green replied. "The choice is yours." Within days, the Carathian Republic withdrew from the war. Their medical ships began treating wounded from both sides, but they quietly shared their most advanced healing technology with human forces. Dr. Laura King worked with Carathian scientists in hidden laboratories, developing treatments that could save lives across the galaxy. The aliens' cellular regeneration techniques combined with human medical knowledge created miracles. "This treatment can regrow lost limbs," Dr. Kethra explained as she worked alongside King. "Your people's research into brain chemistry can heal mental trauma we thought was permanent." King nodded, watching test subjects recover from injuries that would have been fatal just months ago. "Together, we can eliminate suffering itself." The partnership sent shockwaves through the collective. Other member species began to question their leadership. Secret communications reached human commanders from a dozen different worlds. General Frank Martinez commanded Operation Prometheus, the systematic capture of alien industrial facilities. But unlike typical military conquest, human forces repaired and improved everything they took. "Sir, the Altarian shipyards are operating at 150% of their original capacity," reported Colonel Jane Roberts. "The alien workers are actually helping us." Martinez nodded grimly. The aliens had expected humans to destroy what they captured. Instead, humans fixed broken systems, improved inefficient processes, and treated alien workers with respect. "What's our production output?" Martinez asked. "We're building more ships than the collective ever did," Roberts replied. "The aliens are amazed by our efficiency improvements." The psychological impact was devastating to alien morale. Their own factories worked better under human management. Their own workers were happier serving human interests. Everything they believed about their superiority was proven false. Captain Tony Baker led a daring raid on the collective's central archives, a massive data facility hidden in an asteroid field. His team of Reapers moved through the alien defenses like shadows, disabling guards without killing them whenever possible. "Download everything," Baker ordered his technical specialist. "Every file, every record, every piece of data they have." What they found rewrote galactic history. Dr. Elizabeth White studied the captured archives in a secure facility on Luna. Her hands shook as she read the translated documents. The truth was worse than anyone had imagined. "The First Contact War," she announced to the assembled command staff. "Humanity won. Completely." The room fell silent. Admiral Hudson leaned forward in his chair. "Explain," he ordered. White activated displays showing 3,000-year-old battle reports. Human forces didn't just resist the alien invasion, they drove the collective back to their home systems. The aliens were forced to sue for peace when human fleets threatened their capital worlds. More documents appeared: treaty negotiations, surrender terms, plans for alien reconstruction under human oversight. "The peace treaty wasn't a mutual agreement," White continued. "It was a human victory. We let them keep their dignity in exchange for staying away from Earth, but they rewrote their own history to make themselves look like the winners." Hudson stood up slowly. "They've been lying for 3,000 years, to us, to themselves, to the entire galaxy." "It gets worse," White said. "They've done this before, to dozens of species." The collective isn't a voluntary alliance. It's a collection of conquered peoples who were made to forget their own defeats. The revelation changed everything. Human forces began broadcasting the truth across alien space. Oppressed species that had served the collective for millennia learned that they had once been free. Rebellion erupted on dozens of worlds. The Talvani remembered their warrior culture. The Nexari recalled their democratic traditions. The Althean rediscovered their artistic heritage. The siege of the Iron Nebula became the war's defining battle. Admiral Hudson commanded a combined fleet of human and alien rebels against the collective's last major stronghold. "Enemy fleet consists of 800 capital ships," reported Captain Lisa Park from her position aboard Hudson's flagship. "We're outnumbered 3-1. Hudson smiled coldly. Good. I was worried this might be too easy. The battle began with a conventional exchange of fire. Massive energy beams crossed space between the opposing fleets. For the first hour, it looked like every other space battle in galactic history. Then humans did what they did best. They adapted. All ships, prepare for configuration change, Hudson ordered. Across the human fleet, vessels began to transform. Modular components separated and reconnected in new patterns. Cargo ships became carriers. Destroyers combined into heavy cruisers. Support vessels revealed hidden weapons. The aliens watched in amazement as the human fleet literally rebuilt itself during combat. Ships that had been designed for one purpose suddenly served another. Flexibility defeated rigid doctrine. Sir, they're using our own weapon fire against us, reported the alien tactical officer. Human ships equipped with experimental shield technology were absorbing enemy energy and redirecting it at other targets. The collective's own weapons became ammunition for human forces. When alien ships were disabled, human crews boarded them and turned their systems against the collective fleet. Within hours, captured vessels fought alongside their former enemies. This is impossible, High Commander Zach Toole muttered as he watched his fleet dissolve around him. No species fights like this? His aide looked up from a tactical display. Sir, they're not fighting a war. They're solving a problem. Every challenge we present, they find an answer for. The battle ended with the complete destruction of the collective's military power. But even in defeat, they had one final card to play. Sir, we're detecting a massive energy signature heading for Sol System, reported Lieutenant Ross from Luna Command. It's a planet killer. They're going to destroy Earth. Hudson's face showed no surprise. I've been waiting for this. Activate the Lazarus Protocol. Across human space, the most secret project in human history began its final phase. Earth itself prepared for its greatest deception. The collective's ultimate weapon raced toward humanity's home world, carrying enough power to crack a planet in half. But when it arrived, it would find that humans had one last surprise waiting. The collective's planet-killer weapon dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. The massive device was larger than most moons, designed to crack worlds in half with a single focused energy burst. High Commander Zach Toole watched from his command ship as the weapon powered up. This was their final gambit. If they couldn't defeat humanity in battle, they would destroy the source of human power. Target locked on Earth, reported the weapon operator. Charging sequence initiated. Zach Toole felt a moment of satisfaction. The humans had proven to be formidable enemies, but they couldn't move an entire planet out of the way. The weapon fired. A beam of pure energy crossed space in seconds, striking Earth with the force of a dying star. The planet should have exploded into fragments. Instead, the beam passed harmlessly through empty space. Earth was gone. Impossible, Zach Toole whispered. Sensors confirm target status. Sir, there's nothing there. Earth has vanished. On the bridge of the UES Defiance, Captain Jake Morrison watched the alien weapon fire at empty space where Earth used to be. He smiled grimly as he opened a communication channel. Hi, Commander Zach Toole. This is Captain Morrison. I thought you should know. Earth was evacuated 6 months ago. What you just destroyed was a holographic projection. The image of Earth flickered and disappeared, revealing the truth. The planet had been replaced by an elaborate light show while the real Earth was moved to safety using experimental space-folding technology. You see, Morrison continued, we learned something from you 3,000 years ago. Never fight a war you're not prepared to win. Admiral Hudson's voice joined the transmission from his secret location. Project Lazarus is complete. Earth is now in a pocket dimension where your weapons can't reach it. We've been preparing this defense for centuries. Zach Toole stared at the empty space where humanity's homeworld had been. The technical achievement was beyond anything the collective had ever imagined. Humans had moved an entire planet like a chess piece. "But there's something else you should know," Hudson continued. "We've been inside your command structure for decades. Every plan you made, every strategy session you held, every secret meeting you conducted, we were listening." Images began appearing on every alien ship's communication system. Recordings of collective military meetings with human agents sitting at the table. Security footage of human operatives accessing alien computer systems. Evidence of decades of infiltration. "The war was over before it began," Hudson explained. "We just wanted to see if you had learned anything in 3,000 years. You hadn't." Captain Julie Adams led the final assault on the collective's ruling council chambers. Her fleet appeared directly above their capital city, having bypassed every defense through methods the aliens couldn't understand. The council chamber was a massive crystalline structure that had stood for millennia. Adams and her Reapers entered through the main doors, walking calmly past automated defenses that had been disabled hours earlier. "Members of the High Council," Adams announced as she entered the chamber. "I am Captain Julie Adams of the Terran Defense Force. You will surrender immediately." The 12 alien leaders sat in their ceremonial chairs, surrounded by guards who made no move to fight. They had seen enough human combat footage to know resistance was pointless. "How?" asked Council Prime Mordek, his voice hollow with defeat. "How did you achieve such impossible victories?" Dr. Chris Murphy stepped forward from Adams' team. "You want to know our secret? We never stopped learning." Murphy activated a holographic display showing human development over the past 3 millennia. While the aliens had stagnated, believing themselves superior, humans had grown stronger with each passing year. "You thought the peace treaty made you safe," Murphy explained. "But every year of peace was another year for us to advance. Every moment you spent believing your own lies was time we used to prepare for this day." The display showed human agents embedded throughout alien society, scientists studying alien technology in secret, military advisors learning alien tactics from within their own organizations. "You caged us," Murphy continued, "but you made one mistake. You left us able to observe and learn. We studied you, understood you, and ultimately surpassed you." Council Prime Mordek's shoulders sagged in defeat. "What are your terms?" Adams looked at each council member in turn. These beings had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years through fear and deception. Their reign was over. "Unconditional surrender," Adams stated. "All aggressive member species will be disbanded. Your military forces will be placed under human oversight. Any species that fought beside us will be granted full independence." "And those who opposed you?" asked another council member. "Will be given the chance to prove they can coexist peacefully," Adams replied. "We're not conquerors. We're liberators." 5 years later, Admiral Morrison stood on the observation deck of New Geneva Station. The massive diplomatic facility orbited a pulsar that served as a memorial to all who died in the war. Through the transparent aluminum windows, he watched ships from dozens of species dock at the station's ports. Former enemies worked side by side, building a future none of them could have imagined during the war. President Maya Turner approached, now representing the Galactic Human Federation. Her hair was grayer than it had been during the war, but her eyes held hope instead of the grimness that had marked those dark years. "The latest reports from the integration zones," she said, handing Morrison a data pad. "Former collective worlds are requesting human assistance with democratic transitions." Morrison scanned the reports. Planet after planet was throwing off thousands of years of authoritarian rule, embracing the freedoms that humanity offered. "Any trouble from the hardliners?" he asked. "Some resistance on the outer worlds," Turner replied, "but nothing our peacekeeping forces can't handle. Most aliens are grateful for liberation." They walked together toward the station's central garden. a massive park where the children of dozens of species played together. Human children chased Carathian younglings through flowering trees, while Talvani cubs wrestled with Nexari spawn in supervised groups. It's hard to believe their parents were trying to kill each other just a few years ago, Morrison observed. Turner nodded. Children adapt faster than adults. They don't carry the weight of old hatred. Dr. Helen Cross joined them, now serving as the station's chief xenobiologist. Her research into alien genetics had led to medical breakthroughs that benefited every species in the galaxy. The new generation of mixed crews is exceeding all expectations, Cross reported. Human creativity combined with alien specialized knowledge is producing innovations we never thought possible. Morrison smiled as he watched a group of children from 5 different species working together on a science project. They didn't see aliens and humans. They just saw friends. "Admiral," a young voice called out. A human girl about 10 years old ran up to them, followed by an alien child with blue skin and 4 arms. Morrison recognized them as the children of his communications officer. "Julie wants to show you something," the girl announced. The alien child, Julie, held up a small device that glowed with soft light. "I made a universal translator that works with emotions," she explained in perfect English. "Now everyone can understand how others feel, not just what they say." Morrison knelt down to examine the device. The technology was beyond anything human or alien science had achieved separately, but these children had created it by combining knowledge from both species. "That's amazing, Julie," Morrison said. "You might change the galaxy with this." The children ran off to show their invention to other playmates. Morrison stood up and looked at Turner and Cross. "Maybe we didn't just win a war," he said thoughtfully. "Maybe we started something even more important." Turner nodded. "The galaxy's first truly cooperative civilization." As the station's lights dimmed to simulate evening, Morrison looked out at the stars. Somewhere among them, human ships patrolled alongside former enemies, protecting trade routes and exploring new worlds together. The pulsar's light flashed regularly through the station's windows, a reminder of the cost of the war, but also a beacon of hope. Its steady rhythm seemed to pulse out a message to the galaxy. Never again would one species dominate others. Never again would freedom be caged by fear. And never again would the galaxy underestimate the power of cooperation over conquest. The 3,000-year truce had ended not in humanity's subjugation, but in the galaxy's liberation, and that, perhaps, had been humanity's plan all along.